Welcome to this week's vlog. I am 21 weeks pregnant today. I just thought I would vlog the week, and while we're just going through like what I'm doing this week, I'll talk about 21 things that I either didn't know about pregnancy or like surprised me, or things I've learned that I thought would just be cool to share. I just got home from work a little bit ago and I'm going to make some dinner. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about was, this is for my nauseous girlies, my morning sickness girls, Unisum and B6. I started getting nauseous I think around like 5 weeks, and I only threw up a handful of times, but I was just nauseous all the time. Like if I didn't eat every 2 hours, I was miserable, but it was literally just all the time, just in the background. And I didn't learn about anything to take until my 8-week appointment. So it was probably like 3 weeks that I was really like suffering, not getting anything. And then the doctor gave me a prescription for, I think it's called Bungesta, but it's basically just the main ingredients are Unisum and B6. So I'll show you the exact Unisum. It's like the doxylamine something. But now I just take a Unisum and B6 every night and it's perfect. Good morning, it's Tuesday. I'm off today, so I am just doing a bunch of errands. I am at the Social Security office because I'm finally initiating my name change. I got married in January and it's the middle of June, so I figure now's probably a good time to do it. I did like the online form yesterday, so I just have to go and show my passport and marriage certificate, which I have right here, ready to go. So hopefully this won't take long, and then I'm gonna go straight to the gym after this. So the second thing that really surprised me about pregnancy was how early I started getting round ligament pain, and even that round ligament pain was a thing. I obviously, like when I was doing research and stuff, I saw it and I was like, okay, this is something like to expect, but it happened to me really early, probably around like 10 weeks, because I remember I brought it up to my doctor at my 12-week appointment, and she was like, well, just don't get up so fast. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. But apparently it's all normal. The doctor said it's just all those ligaments stretching, and they're just not used to being stretched like that, and now there's a baby in there, so everything's getting stretched out. Successfully finished my appointment at the Social Security office and have my receipt with my name change on it, so it's so exciting. They said within like 24 hours it's updated, and I just have to wait for my new card, and then I can go to the DMV and get my new license and then do all the things. But I'm a pretty emotional person, but I feel like this is strictly pregnancy related. I started just crying a little bit when I saw my new name, but that's pregnancy for you. You'll cry at literally everything. This is not even a number on the list because it's just funny at this point. I'm actually just really happy that I can even work out again, because my first trimester I was like not doing well. I was just getting dizzy a lot and really nauseous. So I have a treadmill at the house, so I would just do like incline walk on the treadmill, and I have some like light dumbbells, so I would just do little dumbbell stuff and treadmill walking. But this is probably only my like 4th time back at the actual gym since getting pregnant, so I'm glad that I'm actually able to like do more and kind of get back to normal, which brings me to, I think, the third thing on my list, which is wearing compression socks. I didn't realize that I should have worn them like way earlier. I usually just wear them at work. It was the first time I really had like kind of a scary experience. I almost passed out at work. I was actually about to do anesthesia for a C-section, and I was upstairs in the OB unit. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. It's another thing, you get really out of breath really easily. I was upstairs in OB and I was going through my patient's chart, just filling out my pre-op information, and all of a sudden, like, when you're in a car and you're stopped and the car next to you starts moving, so it feels like you're moving, it felt like that. I was standing there and it felt like I was moving, but it was like the room was like moving. And then it only lasted for like a couple of seconds, and then I like snapped back, but I like felt almost like I was falling backwards, and then I stopped and I was like, okay, this is freaky. So yeah, number 3, compression socks and dizziness. What a great angle. Okay, I am home. I stopped at Publix on the way home. I still need to shower. I just ate a quick lunch and I'm sitting outside for a few minutes with Chip and Daisy. It's really hot out though, so I'm not gonna be out here very long. But that brings me to number 4, which is I literally get hot flashes and just start sweating like way more than usual. It's pretty crazy. The other day, I was at Walmart picking up a prescription and all of a sudden I was just like, I got really hot and I could feel like sweat like running down my side. And I was like, I literally have to get out of here because I think I had on like gray shorts and I'm like, people are gonna literally see the sweat on my shorts and it's gonna be disgusting, and I just felt so gross. But like I work in the OR and usually I have my jacket all the time or like a blanket. I'm freezing, and lately I've been taking my jacket off and just being in like my scrub top in the OR, which is insane because if you work in a hospital or have ever been in an OR, it's freezing. So that was something very unexpected, was the hot flashes and just running hotter, which makes sense because, you know, your BMR is just higher. It's, you know, everything's working a little bit harder, so it makes sense, but I just was not expecting it. I am going to meal prep some shredded chicken. I'm gonna do it in this, it's like a Ninja, I don't know, it does a bunch of stuff, but I'm just gonna use like the slow cooker function on it. And I basically just put the chicken in with some spices and chicken broth and let that cook for like 3 to 4 hours on high. Which, while I do this, I'll talk about the next thing on the list, which is just, I didn't realize, I guess, the type of hunger that would come with pregnancy. And it's not even just like being hungry, it's getting hungry and then only having like a small window to eat before feeling like terrible. So what I've learned from that basically is to always have food prepared and ready to go, and not just like any food, but like nutritious stuff, protein stuff. I actually was pescatarian for like 7 years, and then once I got pregnant I started eating all meats again because I was just so desperate to find something to make me feel better because I was getting so nauseous, and from what I researched, said protein was great. So, and I just wanted to make sure I was getting enough nutrients and stuff for baby, so that's why I started eating like all meats again. But I feel like I gained probably like 10 pounds in the first trimester, and I feel like that was because all I ate was like snack foods, like Cheez-Its, crackers, just whatever I could get my hands on to feel good. So after those first few weeks I started really being intentional and prepping healthier snacks, having more like fruits and vegetables in the house, like already cut up and prepared so that I would eat them. That kind of helped. I just wanted to make sure I was, you know, gaining weight at a normal pace and not setting myself up for like a hard rest of the pregnancy. But yeah, that's what I learned, was that I needed to have foods ready to go, ready to eat, because if I got hungry, I was quickly going to become nauseous if I didn't eat something, and if I didn't have something like good to eat, ready to go, I was going to eat something bad. So sorry, I clearly can't multitask, but I'm gonna wash my hands and then start seasoning this. I just finished doing my hair and makeup, and now I am sweating so hot. I even had my little fan going while I was doing it, but like I said, I just get so freaking hot. And I mean, like it's summer. I think I'm gonna make a smoothie, A, to cool off, and B, because I need a little snack, and then I'll start trying to do my pictures. Jimmy just texted me so funny and said, like, look what just popped up on my YouTube, and it's one of my old videos from when I was vlogging before, which is so funny. Which I recorded in my 20-week vlog, and I just have it on private. I have it uploaded on private, and I wonder if YouTube is just like putting me back out there because it knows that I uploaded a video and just haven't posted it yet, or it's just weird timing. I almost forgot for a second that I was doing these. My list. So I think this is number 6, 5 or 6, I think it's 6, is I for sure thought that I would not be buying maternity clothes because I was like, oh, I'll just wear what I have. Everything I have is pretty big. I don't wear anything like crazy. No, I just started feeling so uncomfortable like in everything. I actually went through my closet and put away all the clothes. I was like, these are not going to fit me for the next year probably. from pregnancy to postpartum. So I put everything in the suitcase and put it away, and I bought a couple of maternity things. Nothing expensive, I just got some like pants and like oversized shirts. And my rationale was like, you're pregnant for like a year almost. It's a long time that you're gonna be needing these clothes. And I just went on, I don't know what it is, Shein or Shine or whatever, the clothing website, and got stuff off of there super cheap. I was like, it doesn't have to be the best quality. It's just, you know, to get me through this time. And I'm so happy I did because I feel so much more comfortable. Like these little shorts, everything is just like high waist but comfy, and they have like a little string thing that you can like adjust the size. But yeah, I didn't think I would get pregnant or maternity clothes, but I absolutely did, and I don't regret it. This is my little setup for my half-baked photo shoot I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go change and try and set up like my tripod with my phone, do some pictures on here, and just see like what I can get myself. And then when Jimmy gets home later, we'll do the rest. Okay, that was actually really hard to try and get pictures, but I think I got hopefully a couple good ones. A bump. It was, I don't know. I think I just need Jimmy here to help me, but I mean the setup looks cute with the little bowl and the flower and the ultrasound pictures, but that brings me into, I believe, number 7 on my list, which is just how unprepared I was for just like the mental challenge that it was gonna be seeing my body change and seeing like the number on the scale go up, because I was pretty fit before I got pregnant, and especially looking back at pictures now, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I look so little. And I just, you know, took health and fitness very seriously. So even though I know my body's supposed to be changing like this and looking like this, it really is a mental struggle, especially in that weird time where like you don't really look pregnant, you just look bloated or like a little bit bigger. So that mental challenge I think I wasn't really ready for, but I'm definitely coming more like to terms with it and starting to feel better. But I can see how that would be like really challenging to a lot of people out there. So if you've gone through that, you're definitely not alone, but I think it's just part of the internal growth and like the mental growth that we have to go through on this journey of becoming a mother and realizing, you know, what matters, what doesn't. And oh my gosh, I'm so out of breath. And just realizing that all these changes are supposed to happen, and it's, you know, our body's way of preparing to bring life into this world. And it's really beautiful no matter what we look like or you know, anything like that. So that was a big challenge for me, was like mentally understanding that my body's supposed to be changing and looking like this, and it's not like me being unhealthy or failing or doing anything wrong. It's literally just supposed to happen, and you can't control how your body changes or grows when you're growing a baby. I'm actually so happy with how those pictures came out. I do want to do a couple more when Jimmy gets home from work, just with his hands like on my belly. I think that would be cute. Let's go through a couple more while I'm sitting outside with the dogs waiting for Jimmy to get home. A couple more from my list. So number 8 is getting a pregnancy pillow early. Now, I'm not someone who sleeps with like a pillow or anything between their legs, so I didn't get one of like the big pregnancy pillows. I'll show you guys the one that I got when I go back inside, but I just got one that's got like the 2 pillows on either side and then like the little sling kind of in between, so it keeps me off my back, but it's actually so comfortable. Like I feel like I'm sleeping really well with it. Like I even wouldn't if I wasn't pregnant. So I got it a couple weeks ago, but I would say don't hesitate to get a pregnancy pillow early, because I actually like really like having it. Okay, number 9. Everyone says that your sense of smell changes, like you get like the super sense of smell, and I will say that is true, but what I wasn't expecting was that I hated how my house smelled. I remember I went to the store one day and got like 3 different kinds of like scented spray for the house, and like I didn't like how the laundry detergent smelled, I didn't like how my body wash smelled, so I had to like change everything. I wasn't expecting to hate how my house smelled, but there you go, that's pregnancy. Number 10, this really freaked me out. So I like right when I hit 16 weeks, I started not really feeling as nauseous. I still have to take the Unisom and B6, otherwise I'm like not doing well, but my nausea got way better. After the 16th week, I felt great for 1 week, and then I got hit with like a really bad cold at 17 weeks. And one morning I was getting ready for work and I was blowing my nose, and my nose started bleeding like profusely. And it's funny because I read everywhere like, oh yeah, bloody nose, like you can get a bloody nose, really common during pregnancy, or like your gums can bleed. That never happened. But I have never ever had a nosebleed before, and it was so scary because I was like, I didn't know how to stop it. And so I was like trying to get ready for work, and I didn't want to wake Jimmy up and be like, help, I have a nosebleed. But yeah, it only happened once when I was sick, but it was really scary because it was literally just like blood was pouring out of my nose, and it really freaked me out. So I guess that's something that really can happen. I think it only happened because I was sick, but I'll get you. Okay, and then I'll just do one more right now. This is something that I was talking to one of my coworkers who had a baby like 7 months ago. She was telling me that she didn't know, and a lot of people I guess don't know this, I had no idea, that baby clothes on the tag have the recommended like height and weight for that like article of clothing. So you don't have to just look and see like if it says, oh, 0 to 1 month or 1 to 2 months or 4 or 5 months. I don't know what the sizes are, but you don't have to go by like the month sizing, because she was like, yeah, my baby's 7 months, but he's already in like an 18-month size. So as long as you know your baby's height and weight, you can look at the, it might just be height, I don't remember, I think she said height and weight though. It's on the actual tag of the clothing, so that helps you not have to like guess. But I thought that was really interesting and a good thing to know because I had no idea. Okay, I lied, I have 2 more quick ones. One is that insurance will cover a breast pump, which I didn't know this, which was really cool. I think I'll probably use that to get like a good breast pump that like plugs into the wall, and then I'll also just get like a portable one. But I heard that the ones that plug in actually work like a lot better. So if insurance is gonna cover it, I might as well buy one for myself and then get the insurance one. I think a lot of people know that, but I didn't know that, so that's definitely good to know. And then going along with like the clothes and stuff, I had no idea when to start like buying stuff and how much of like what size of things I'm gonna need, which I still kind of don't really know that part. But in terms of buying stuff, Jimmy and I went a few weeks ago to Pottery Barn Kids to look at furniture, and a lot of their furniture is like months out. So I guess it doesn't really matter because like maybe sleeps in like a bassinet or in your room for the first like couple months anyway. But if you really want to, Daisy! But if you really want your nursery set up like at a certain time, make sure you see how long it's gonna take to get the furniture that you want.
They just wanted a Netflix deal.
No, they're on Hulu now. They were on E, just like TV, and now they're on Hulu. Good morning. It's 6:30. It's Wednesday morning. I just got to work. Sorry, I sound so, like every morning I'm so congested. Like my nose is stuffy. I think that's a symptom. I don't know. I'm sitting in the car. It was pouring this morning. That's why I have my raincoat on. I brought an umbrella. It was crazy. I was like, should I wait it out? But it was pouring like literally from the time I woke up to the time I was done getting ready. So I was like, I'll just make a run for the car. Number 14 on my list, which is having the biggest like FOMO, I guess, or just being like sad about not being able to do like the things that I was doing before. Like, I don't know, like drinking, and it sounds really selfish, but like after I got over the first trimester morning sickness and actually felt better, I was like, man, this kind of sucks. Like I think we went out to dinner with some coworkers and I was just like, okay, like, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird feeling not being able to, because not that like drinking is a huge part of my life, but I do like to have a drink like with dinner, or, you know, when we go out, you know, to a nice restaurant, like one of the best parts is going through the drink menu. And so stuff like that has been a little bit hard now that I'm feeling like better. It was just not feeling like I can do all the same things. It's just a lot of like a mix of feeling guilty for feeling like this and then being like, well, no, it's okay to feel like this because it's a huge life change. But I just try to remind myself that, you know, obviously it's for a bigger purpose, it's not gonna be worth it. But yeah, the FOMO is real. Look what came! Jackson's crib mattress. We ended up getting the Newton because one of our coworkers has like a 1-year-old and she recommended it. She said you can literally like put your whole face into it and still breathe. So we figured this would be a good option. Excited we have at least a piece of furniture, right, Bub? What do you think? I know. Oh. Thank you, Chip. So I actually wasn't going to come home and do another one of these from the list, so pretty tired. I worked a 12-hour shift, so it's like 7 o'clock, but you know what, I have a little energy now that I'm home. So this is kind of piggybacking off of the one that I did this morning of having FOMO and like being sad about missing out on stuff. Is I also at the same time just feel so vulnerable and don't really want to like go out and do things. Especially like that was another thing of not really going to the gym, was because I didn't like going to the gym alone. I don't know how to describe it other than feeling like vulnerable. So that's one of them, is like while I'm missing out on things, or like feeling like I'm missing out on things, also just not wanting to do things. I just kind of want to be a homebody and don't really want to go out and do stuff. And then another number, I don't know what number we're on, like 17 or 16 or 18, somewhere in there. I'll put the numbers on the screen. Is I will not get used to people staring at my stomach, especially once I announced I was pregnant. I feel like I'll be like walking down the halls at work and people will be like looking at my stomach, and I'm like, guys, like my eyes are up here. It's just like a really weird feeling. And I know no one's doing it like to be like shitty or doing it in a mean way, like they're all excited, but it's so weird walking down the hall and people looking at my stomach, and I was not expecting to deal with that, especially this early. Like maybe when I'm like super pregnant, obviously people will comment on it, but yeah, being like just having like a little belly and people being like, oh, I can see your belly, or like not even saying it, just walking by and like looking at my stomach. It's very, very weird. Whoa, big yawn. Let's get into the rest of this list because the week is over and I still have like 5 more things to finish off my 21 list. So 17, I'm pretty sure I'm on 17, is if you get the genetic and gender testing done, make sure you find out from your provider how long it's gonna take and if they're ordering like multiple labs together, because I was under the impression that it would take about a week to get my results back. So 7 days came and went. I think it was, I want to say it was like a holiday weekend. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll take an extra day, whatever, still nothing. 2 more days, nothing. I call my doctor's office and they're like, yeah, we don't have anything yet. We'll call you when we get results. Okay, fine. Then I start doing my own research. And I look at the lab order that they gave me, and I look at, what do I look at? I look at the lab order, see exactly what test, and then I like Google the lab company and like what the test codes and stuff. And it says that this test can take like 21 days to come back. And so I was like looking, and it wasn't even just like the genetic testing and stuff. It was like this whole carrier screening panel thing. So I was like, did they order like the wrong test maybe? So I get a hold of the lab and they basically tell me that no, they had ordered 2 different ones. So the regular like genetics and gender, and then this carrier screening. And they had the genetic and gender results for like 5 days already. But it was still gonna be a couple more days for the other results, and they just result them together since they were ordered together. So I was basically freaking out for nothing, because you know it takes longer. So I'm like, is there something wrong? Like, did something come up on the screening? But they were able to give me my results then and there. But it was just like added more stress than I feel like needed to be there. So if you are like an impatient person like me, maybe just verify how long your lab's gonna take. Number 18, I didn't realize how hard it was gonna be to hide being pregnant before I was ready to announce. I honestly didn't know that most people waited like 12 weeks to announce. So after talking to like friends, I figured out, okay, well, I guess this is how long I wait, or like not really. Talked to one friend and then just was like reading stuff online, whatever. And so with my job, I work in an operating room and a lot of cases use x-ray in the rooms. So I pretty much had to tell my manager and a lot of the anesthesiologists that I work with that I couldn't go in these x-ray rooms, or I had to like really limit my time in these rooms. And then also like total joint, like a total knee, uses a cement that the fumes, it's like mixed on like how harmful they are, but it's just not recommended to be around these fumes if you're pregnant. So I did have to tell some people at work, but I was really trying to keep everything under wraps, because the more you learn about like miscarriage risk and all this, I really wanted to be selective with who I told until we were kind of past that like safe zone of 12 weeks, which I know it's not ever really in the safe zone, but that's really when people will start announcing. So anyway, it was really hard to keep it a secret when a lot of people, I had to already tell certain people. And then also I didn't feel good. I was nauseous all the time. I literally looked sick. Like people were like, are you okay? And I was just like, yeah, you know, to have a cold, whatever. So that was like hard, and I wasn't expecting it. So I wasn't really prepared to have to like lie to people or come up with these, you know, elaborate things. And so that leads me into 19, which is I will never ask someone if they're pregnant, or especially if I know like they're trying or maybe they might be soon, because that was the hardest part. Was like I was so excited to tell people once I got to that point, you know, like where I was able to, and people constantly asking me and all this. It was like, I know it comes from a good place, but until you're in that position where you've got this like vulnerable thing happening to you and you're like sensitive and you don't know if it's the right thing to tell people, and you don't want to have to go around and tell people if something happens. So it's just things that I had never really considered before getting pregnant that were kind of a shock to me, and just other like, it's just things that you don't think you're gonna have to worry about or don't want to worry about, and then end up having to worry about them when you're already not feeling good and going through stuff. So that was a big one. So having gone through it now, I will never ask someone. I will wait for them to tell me. Okay, we're almost there. Number 20 is I wasn't prepared, because it's kind of like piggybacks off of like not telling people, was not realizing like how isolated I was gonna feel just in being pregnant. And I have a couple friends who are pregnant, but I just don't really like, I talk to them a little bit, but they don't live close by. So these dogs literally grab me and say, they can never do something together. They have to always go one at a time. But basically, yeah, feeling isolated. And so the friends I do have that are pregnant aren't really close to me, so I could text them and stuff. But I really got to a breaking point a few weeks ago. I had like a full breakdown just from like, I talked about it earlier. Some of the other ones, just like feeling like I can't enjoy things like I used to, or have fun the way I used to. And, you know, you feel really like selfish for feeling these things and whatever. So I went to a hair appointment, and my the girl who does my hair is also pregnant. She's like, I want to say like 8 weeks ahead of me, or 4 or 8 weeks ahead of me. But it was just so nice talking to her about everything in person, and just like, that's all we talked about for the whole hair appointment was pregnancy and like our feelings and certain things that have happened. And she was telling me how people have been kind of shitty for her, towards her, about like commenting on her weight, like, oh, you're, you know, are you sure you're only that far along, blah, blah, blah. And like, being a hairdresser, you can't be shitty to people like at your work. So I just really felt for her, and it was just a really great feeling getting to bond with her. But yeah, I wasn't expecting like the loneliness, I guess, or like the isolation of going through this and no one really like understanding exactly what you're going through. Because, oh, this leads me right into the last one. Perfect tip. Number 21 is that every pregnancy is different. And I didn't realize, I guess like you just hear so many stories, or you know, you talk to people and they say, oh, I had no nausea at all in the first trimester or at all in pregnancy. And other people were like, oh, I threw up literally on my due date. Like, they're just pregnant the whole time. So everyone's timeline is just so different that, like, for instance, I didn't start like feeling not nauseous until like 16 weeks, when a lot of people feel it at the end of their first trimester, more towards like 12 weeks. And I'm not feeling baby kick or anything yet, just like a little, like just felt him like 2 or 3 times, just like a little bit here and there. But I found out I have an anterior placenta, so that's normal. But then other people are like, oh no, I could feel mine like the whole time. And so it's really interesting to me like how different everyone's timeline is, and it's something that I wasn't expecting, especially like you're on, you know, you read forums and on Reddit and all these things about, oh, when does this happen? When can I expect this? Blah, blah. Even like in terms of getting a positive pregnancy test, like some people don't get it until a week or 2 after they miss their period, and other people, they get it right away. So when we were trying, so I was taking tests and I'm like, when am I gonna get my positive? Like, oh, it's gonna be negative because this person got a positive on this day and I haven't gotten that yet, so I'm definitely not pregnant. But yeah, it's something that I've had to kind of come to terms with, is my body's on my own timeline, my baby's on his own timeline, and while we can hear other people's stories and experiences, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be the same for us, and that's okay. And I have to trust that my body's doing what it's supposed to do and on the timeline that it wants to, and we'll get there. And those are my 21 unexpected things that I've learned in pregnancy so far. And just the 21-week pregnancy vlog. I'm so excited because today's Friday, tomorrow is Saturday. We're gonna go out, we bought a boat. We're gonna go out on our boat for the first time tomorrow. Jimmy's been out on it, but just on like the sea trial, like water test. But we found like a little hole in the bottom, just in the, what do they call it, the gel coat. So he's picking it up tonight from the guy that fixed it, and we can go out tomorrow. So I'll include just some little footage at the end of this video of our first day out on our boat. And I'm gonna shower and chill and get some takeout, and we're just gonna relax for the night. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for 22.